Vandami Bante, and good morning, everyone. Good evening for everyone, to everyone in the West Hemisphere. Welcome to lesson 30, chapter 3, the compendium of objects. I'm Janice Ong. I am the meeting co-host who will be helping Bante and everyone in today's session. May we invite Bante for your teachings? Please, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, good morning, everybody. And let's start our today's Abhidhamma study, paying homage to the Buddha, reciting Namo Tassa 3 times together. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. We have studied Abhidhamma Sangha chapter by chapter, and chapter 3 we already finished for 3 weeks, and today will be the last one, the last day to study, and chapter 3, the third chapter of Abhidhamma Sangha, Pakinaka Sangha. So as I have told you before, the chapter 3 is not quite easy if we didn't study the chapter 1 and 2 properly. But if we could study chapter 1 and 2 properly, we can get the support of this knowledge from former 2 chapters. And for the last lesson of the chapter 3, today we are going to focus on the compendium of objects. It is called Aramana Sangha in Pali. So Aramana Sangha, we already finished the Vedana Sangha about the feeling, Hetu Sangha about the roots, Picha Sangha about the function and stages, and Dwara Sangha about the door. And also in the Abhidhamma Sangha, it is the last one, Vatu Sangha about the base, and now about the object, Aramana. So why they are divided into 6 chapters in this way is to get the proper knowledge about the occurrence of the consciousness and mental factors depends on the base through the door, taking the objects like this, accompanied by feelings, and based on the roots. So now we can identify the consciousness and mental factor by different ways, not only studying the enumeration and association mental factors, and now we can get more information about the consciousness. So let's see today's lesson, the compendium of object. So this one we already studied several times in this lesson, and this slide shows about the arising of consciousness, taking the objects, the different objects according to the different consciousness, and also they are using the sensitive materialities as a door. So sensitivity, insensitivity, etc. They are used as a doors. So through the doors, and the objects are taken by the consciousness. By the support of the objects, the consciousness can arise. So they are called the Aramana Pachaya, the condition of the object. And here, this time, I would like to emphasize the ultimate reality of the object. So the ultimate reality of the object here, visible object. So whatever we can see through by the eyes. So another way we can aware through the eye doors by eyes is visible form, visible object, and it is called the Rupa Ramana, and sound, smell, taste, and here tangible object. So if we count the ultimate reality, so there are 7 materialities, because the last one, tangible objects, included 3 materialities. So altogether, the 7 materialities are the former objects. So former 5 objects. So altogether, we have the 6 objects, 6 aramana. So let's see. The former 5 includes the 7 materiality. Okay, so now let's see the 6 objects one after another. So the first one is Rupa Ramana. It is translated as the visible objects. And Sataramana, sound objects. So sound also one of the objects taken by the consciousness. And Gandharamana is smell object. Rasaramana, taste object. And all of them are materiality according to the ultimate realities. So visible form, sound, smell, taste, all are separate ultimate reality. So we get the 4 ultimate reality, and for the last 5, for the sensitive aramana, so for the 6th object, so last 6th object is the photoparamana. It includes the 3 materialities, so which is called the tangible object. Altogether, 7 materialities are called the 5 6th object. And we already know what are the 3 earth element, wind element, and fire elements. In this way, 7 materialities are regarded as the 5 6th object. And the last one of the 6th object is Dhammaramana, mental object. So Dhammaramana include the rest objects. So the remaining all types of objects are included under the name of Dhammaramana, mental objects, because they can be aware through the mind door alone. So visible form can be aware through the eye doors, and sound can be aware through the ear doors, etc. But the remaining object from the former 5 6 object, the remaining objects are called the Dhammaramana because they can be aware only through the mind door. Then, so the Dhammaramana, the 6th Dhammaramana or mental object can be 6 kinds. The first one, Pasada Rupa. So here the Rupa materiality is the former 6th object includes 7 materialities. And the first group of mental object, Dhammaramana, sensitive matter, 5 sensitive matter, altogether 12. And these 12 are regarded as the gross materiality. So all are regard Rupa. They are gross materiality. And the remaining 16, so altogether 28. And if we count 12 for the gross materialities, And then the remaining 16 are subtle matters. So Sukkuma Rupa. In this case, we can divide it into two parts, 28 materiality, and the group is 12 materiality as gross materiality gross matters, and the remaining 16 are subtle matter. Then the gross matter has a longer lifespan, and then we will identify the lifespan in the chapter 4. Lifespan of the materiality and mentality. So here, the gross materiality have the longer lifespan. It equivalent to the 17 mind movements, but the subtle matters are not longer, they don't have that longer lifespan. So they are shorter than the gross matter. So in this way, we classify the 28 materiality into two parts. And here, two parts also divided into two again, the gross matter, and some are included the 5 things objects, and some others, some sensitive matters are included under the mental objects, Dhammaramana. So now we have to count what are the 6 kinds of mental objects. So first, materiality, second one also materiality. And the third one, Citta, consciousness. All types of consciousness, whenever we know the consciousness, the consciousness is Dhammaramana, because we cannot see and we cannot hear the consciousness, etc. And then we can just aware by the mind or consciousness. And Cittasika also in the same way. The Citta, Cittasika, the mental group can be aware through the mind also mental objects. And Nibbana and Panyati. Nibbana and Panyati also, we cannot see, we cannot hear, and we can just aware through the mind. That's why they all are regarded as the mental objects. So 6 kinds of mental objects. Now we know the ultimate the objects according to the ultimate reality. So this includes the whole universe and everything around you, everything you can know, you can identify with. This is Ruparamana. So Ruparamana, the first one, this left one, you can see through the eye. You can see through the eye, and you can hear something. You can hear that is the Sattharamana, and you can smell is Gandharamana, and something you can taste is Rasaramana. So you can know through the touching is the tangible object, Potavaramana. As the materialities are arising in the group, so when the visible form is there, and the smell also there, so whatever you can see and also you can taste, but they are not missing each other because they have their separate characteristic. So they are not missing, but to identify each ultimate reality by their name and by their nature is not easy. It's the work of the Sammasambuddha. If the Buddha is not appear in the world, we cannot know all the ultimate reality by their nature, and we can aware for some, like the hardness as a battery or something, and we can know. But for the whole understanding of Abhidhamma is the work of the Buddha. Only when the Buddha appear, we can know. The world can learn about the complete nature of the Abhidhamma. So this is the classification of the objects according to the ultimate reality. So let's see another part. So this is classification of the object by way of doors. So we already studied about the doors, classifying 6 doors. Then here, the objects, some objects can be the object of the Panchadvarika Chitta. So 5 door consciousness, the consciousness arises through 5 doors are called the Panchadvarika Chitta, and we can identify the object of the consciousness, 5 door process. And secondly, the objects of mind or consciousness are called Manodvarika Chitta in Pali. And the last one is the object of door-free consciousness, Dwara Vimutta Chitta. So because they have the different nature, we need to identify the object of these process separately. And okay, let's see. Here it makes the 5 doors and mind door. We already know the 6 door. And this is the door-free. Door-free consciousness also the different types of object from the former 2. So let's see the first one, the objects of 5 door consciousness. So the objects depth of 5 door consciousness, Panchadvarika Chitta, the 5 doors and the 5 sense object. We can match the 5 doors and 5 sense objects. And we already know the consciousness that can arise through the iron doors are already 46. So 46 we already learned in the previous lesson. So here the 46 consciousness of iron doors, so Chakudvarika Chitta, they can take. Here this is the arising, how they arise. So if this is 5 door elevating consciousness, then iron consciousness receiving, investigating, determining, and 7 times of jhana. After that, the registration. So the former and later part of this process, that process is Bhavanga. The former also Bhavanga, the later part also the preceding one, the following one also Bhavanga. So if we count the Chakudvarika Chitta, we have to count starting from the 5 dot averaging up to the registration if it arrives. If registration is not arise, the jhana is the 7th jhana is the last moment of Chakudvarika process. So all the process. Now here also we already studied according to the doors, all are arising through the iron doors, but they have the different base. You may remember the different base. So except the iron consciousness, the others are based on the heart base, and iron consciousness based on arise based on the iron base, etc. And here we are going to identify the object. So every moment of the whole process, starting from the 5 door to the last moment of the registration, all consciousness take the same object, of visible form, and that visible form is present visible form. So we can say all Chakudvarika Chitta, all the moment of the iron process consciousness take the present visible form as their object. So when the 5 dot averting arise in this process, that takes the present visible form as it is object. And also when the iron consciousness arise, also it takes the same object and up to the last moment of registration. And if we count another process, so Sotadvarika, so the same enumeration but just different. Instead of iron consciousness, it becomes the ear consciousness. So it also arises in this way, and it takes the present sound as its object. So here the E represent the ear consciousness, not eye consciousness, because this comes from the Sota Dwarika eye doors. Okay, in this way, one after another, we can understand the Ghana Dwarika Chitta take the present smell as their object, and the Jinwa Dwarika Chitta take the present taste as the object, and Kaya Dwarika Chitta takes the present tangible object as their object. Okay, then number 6, the triple mind element. So you may remember what are the triple mind element. So that is the Panchadwara Vajana and Samprichana. So Panchadwara Vajana and Samprichana, as these three are called the triple mind element. So here you see they include every time, every process, and here receiving also include the every process of 5 dogs. So they can take the 5 things object. They can take the 5 things object. We can say the triple mind element, the object of triple mind element is the present 5 things object. So the question is, what about the others? So investigating, determining, it also consists of, it also arise in every process and jhana registration. So the other moment, the consciousness of other moment will be identified in the Manodwarika, so mind door process 2. That is why we are not identifying. So here the consciousness arise in the only in the 5 doors. So you may count how many. So eye consciousness 2, ear consciousness 2, etc. So 2 set of 5-fold consciousness and triple mind element. In the Dwara Sangaha, we already know they are the consciousness, those arise only in 5 door. They never arise in mind door. So now we study about the object of 5 dogs, and the object of other consciousness will be explained in the next slide. So here now you know for the Chakku Vinyana is present perceiver form, etc. Each Vinyana have their respective present objects, and for the triple mind element, it can take all the 5 things object, present 5 things object, but not at a time. It depends on the consciousness, depends on the doors. So they can take each a single object in each time. Then let's continue to the object of mind door consciousness. So Manodwarika Chitta, the Manodwarika Chitta. So first of all, what is the Manodwarika Chitta? The mind door consciousness. The consciousness arise in the mind doors are called the Manodwarika Chitta, and they arise in this way in the process. So starting from the mind door advertent. This is the only difference from the 5 door process. So Manodwarika, because the door is mind door. So the adverting consciousness is regarded as the mind door advertence. And 7, jhana and registration. So this is the common Manodwarika process. So there you can see there are 3 types, only 3 types. And in the ultimate reality of consciousness, if you count the consciousness in this process, so mind door advertent is only 1 type, and jhana 55, and registration 11, altogether 67 consciousness can arise in the mind door process. So they are called the Manodwarika Chitta. So what are the object of mind door process? So they can be the past, present, future, and independence of time, the Kala Vimoda, or the object are 6 types of object. All 6 objects can be the object of mind door. Sometimes they are the past, sometimes present, future, sometimes they are not related to the time division. So independence of time, the Kala Vimutta, it is called the Kala Vimutta. And so 6 objects mean the whole, every object included, every object can be the object of mind or consciousness. But at a time, they cannot be in one time, the object at the same time, they can be in the different times of the mind movement. So here you see the mind movement, and in the process, usually it take all the mind movement take the same object, but in some case, like the Megawiti or Megawiti, etc., it can be different, sometimes different. So we will study how different in the chapter 4. Then here, they cannot appear at the same time. So they can appear according to the circumstance. So here, the Abhidhamma Sangha used the word Yataraham to explain about the, according to the circumstance, the object, the mind can take the objects. So here, according to the circumstance is mentioned in 4 ways. So the Javana, sense pure Javana, divided into 2 because they have the difference. And we will analyze these 4 in the next slides. So here, the classification according to the circumstance related to the 4 way. The first one is sense pure Javana, but there is not including this mind producing consciousness because it has a different nature in this classification. And the third one is direct knowledge. So direct knowledge is called the abhinya. Abhinya is the higher knowledge. Higher knowledge. So abhinya can be 2. So wholesome and functional. Here, the sublime Javana, except the direct knowledge, because direct knowledge also, or in the ultimate reality, direct knowledge refers to the power of the 5th jhana. So here, the sublime Javana, except the direct knowledge, is another group. So according to circumstance, refers to the 4 groups. Here, we need to identify the independence of time, the objects of the independence of time. What is the object of the independence of time? The Kala Vimutta Aramana. Kala Vimutta Aramana can be in 2 ways. So first one is Nibbana. Nibbana is the one of the object of the mind or consciousness. Mind or consciousness, Nibbana can be taken by the mind or consciousness. But according to the time, Nibbana is timeless. So that's why the Kala Vimutta. Because the Nibbana, it is in transcend nature, without arising, without changing, and without passing away. We cannot identify by the time. Nibbana cannot be identified by the time. That is why Nibbana is timeless. So Nibbana is Kala Vimutta, independence of time. And the other one is Panyati, is concept. It's also timeless because they are devoid of intrinsic nature. They don't have any intrinsic nature. So intrinsic nature, Sabhava, refers to the ultimate reality. So the Panyati does not have any intrinsic nature, Sabhava, when it is recognized or given the name. It is called in that name. And they don't have any intrinsic nature. That is why the Panyati is timeless. So now we know the 2 Kala Vimutta objects, the independence of times, Nibbana and Panyati. So here, these 2 are also taken by the mind or consciousness as the objects. That is why they are also included under the classification of objects. So if we take the past, present, and future, 6 objects, so Nibbana and Panyati will be exception. That's why in order to include the Nibbana and Panyati, the Abhidhamma Sangha say Atita Pachupana, so Tikalika. So this is called the Tikalika, 3 times, past, present, and future. Tikalika, sometimes Kala Vimutta. So in order to include Nibbana and Panyati, Tawa Kala Vimutta is used in the Abhidhamma Sangha. So now we know the object of mind or process can be 6 types of object, past, present, future, and also can be independence or time. Then let's see how the difference according to the circumstance. So the classification is as mentioned in the previous slide. So 2 are the former 2s are the sense-sphere jhana. So altogether 29 sense-sphere jhana. These are divided into 2 groups. So the first group, except the spine-producing consciousness, the other sense-sphere consciousness can take the 3 times. 3 times refers to the past, present, and future, and also timeless Kala Vimutta of the 6 objects. So these are same as mentioned in the Manodharika, the object of Manodharika Chitta. And when it is separated, the spine-producing consciousness is separated from the former group. Is the difference is here? The spine-producing consciousness can take only the 3 times in past, present, and future. It does not take the object of timeless, so Kala Vimutta, because it arises in the Arhat's mind. So it cannot take Nibbana as its object, and also it cannot take the concept as its object. The smiling of the Arahats are related to the ultimate reality. When they focus on the process of ultimate reality, and they smile, and not just taken on the concept of the object of concept. They don't smile on that. So this is the nature. And the third group, direct knowledge abhinya, which is powerful. It can take the 6 object of 3 times, and also the timeless. So it is also very large object. And so the sublime jhana, except the direct knowledge, 26. So it is not taken of any numbers here. Altogether, sublime consciousness 26, sublime jhana 26, and abhinya, and some, because the some in some moment it can reach to the abhinya for the fifth jhana level. In some moment it can be counted as the abhinya, and in some moment they are not counted as abhinya. That's why the sublime jhana 26, they can just take the past and timeless, but they cannot take the present future, because the sublime jhana, you may remember the wholesome and functional of the Mahagata. So Mahagata refers to the 5 material sphere and immaterial sphere. So wholesome and functional group. They take the concept as their object, and some of them take the ultimate reality, the consciousness itself, as their object. At that moment, the ultimate reality of consciousness being the object of the sublime jhana, they are already past. And if they take the object of the concept, they are timeless. And also, if we count the Lokuttara, so Lokuttara, Magga, and Phala, they take the Nibbana. So Nibbana also not present, it is the timeless, the Kala Vimutta. That is why they take the sublime jhana, take only the mental objects, of the past and timeless. So this is the roughly classification of the object of the Manodwarika Chitta, the object of the mind or consciousness. Then we will analyze in detail. Before we continue the detailed classification, we have to study about the object of door-free consciousness. They are called the Dwara Vimutta Chitta, the consciousness of Dwara Vimutta, the object of Dwara Vimutta Chitta here. So already know Dwara Vimutta Chitta, door-free consciousness are 19. What 19? The consciousness perform the function of rebirth, linking, life, container, and death. They are called the door-free consciousness because they are not arising. They are not using any doors when they arise. That's why they are door-free consciousness. And 19 consciousness. Already know the 19 consciousness, the true investigating consciousness accompanied by equanimity and sense fear, resultant age, and 9 sublime resultants. Already know. And when they arise, performing the function of rebirth, linking, Prithisandhi, and life container, Bhavenga, and death duty. And they are door-free. And also, they take any of the 6 objects. So 6 objects, they can take the 6 objects. It means the rebirth, linking consciousness can take the visible form sometimes as their object, and sometimes sound, etc. So all 6 objects can be the object of a door-free consciousness, but the specification will come. So they are not the ordinary 6 objects. So they are regarded as the Kamma. So Kamma, you may know the Kamma is the volition. So Kamma is the power of volition. That's why that is so mental object, because it is included under the classification of mental fetters. So Kamma is mental fetter, reference to the mental fetter. It is only the mental object of the among the six objects is mental object. And sometimes it is known as the Kamma Nimitta. So I will explain what are these three types in the next slide. So just count the Kamma Nimitta, and Gati Nimitta. So sign of Kamma or sign of destiny. So sign of destiny refers to the Gati Nimitta. So Kamma Nimitta, Gati Nimitta, but they are not different from the 6 objects. These 6 objects can be regarded as Kamma, sometimes Kamma Nimitta, sometimes Gati Nimitta. So in this case, the object of door-free consciousness can be 6 kinds. Those are regarded as Kamma Nimitta, or Gati Nimitta. And another rule is that has usually been apprehended in one of the 6 doors, because 6 objects, 6 doors. But not arising at the moment, at the precise moment, they are not arising through the door, but they has been taken already in the previous life. They has been taken any of 6 doors, When it is taken, because at the moment they are arising, they are not using any door. So the objects are taken in the preceding existence. So when the being is born in this life, in this present life, before he was born here, he must die. He must have been dying in the previous life. So in that preceding existence, just before his last moment, Chuti, the mental process, the consciousness, the cognitive process arise. That is called the Maranasana Viti. the consciousness, the cognitive process of near-death moment. That is called the Maranasana Viti. That Maranasana Viti, using any door, it can be sometimes the less mental process can be the eye door process, sometimes ear door process. So in this way, at that time, the Jhana take any object. That object is not the, that object take any object, but it is not the ordinary object. It is the object of karma, or the object of the sign of karma, or the object of the sign of destiny. So that they are called the object take apprehended by any door in the immediately preceding existence. So in order to identify the present moment of rebirth, linking, life continuum, and death, we need to know the object of the cognitive process of near-death moment in a preceding existence, the former life. Then by the classification of the time, they are either a present or past. So it cannot be future. So either present or past. Or sometimes it is a concept. So if it is concept, it is timeless. So past, present, or timeless. And because here we will classify what is the Kadinimeta at the moment, and they are related to the concept, not future. And by the time we need to make sure to understand the object of the door-free consciousness at the moment of rebirth, linking, or life continuum, or death. We need to know they can be any of six objects, but they must be known as the karma, karmanimita, kadinimita, and they has been apprehended in one of the six doors in the immediately preceding existence. So the object can be identified as according to the time, can be present sometime, can be past sometime, it can be timeless. So here the word usually, not meaning exactly why is the word usually is used. The word usually in Pali, yebon yena. So not every times. It is yebon yena refers to the usually, most of the time. And because it is used because sometimes the beings come from the Asanyasata, the realms of Asanyasata. You may remember among the 16 5 material sphere realms. So one beings or in one realms, beings in one realms of the Brahma possess only the materiality process. They never has mental process. That is why in the preceding existence, so if the being is reborn in the human life, as a human being, but his previous life is, his previous life is the non-percipient being, so asanyasata, where only the materiality process is it. Then after that, if he reborn here, his rebirth linking consciousness cannot take the object of the preceding existence, because there is no consciousness in the preceding existence of asanyasata. So that is why this description is not correct for the beings. Those come from the realms of non-percipient beings, so asanyasata. That's why this can be exception for that types of beings. So before he reborn in the asanyasata, there must be any existence which has the both mentality and materiality. So taken not immediately, but one life is jumped. So that is why the word usually is used. Normally, for the other beings, so the object of rebirth linking, etc., must be any of 6 objects, Kamma or Kamma Nimitta or Gati Nimitta, which is apprehended by any doors in the immediately preceding existence. But the exception is for those who come from Asanya Satta realms. That is why the word usually Yevon Yena is used in the Abhidhamma Sangaha. Okay, now let's talk about the 3 types of object. So, of just 3 types of object of the door-free consciousness. The first one is Kamma. So near that moment, the less mental process jhana can take the object of Kamma as its object. So Kamma can be the object. So what is the Kamma? The Kamma is good or evil deed performed earlier. This is the action. But the Kamma as a ultimate reality, it is the volition. At that moment, it appears the volition. So at that moment, the volition arises. It has the potency to produce the result in the next life. That is called the Kamma. So near that moment of the beings, that Kamma appear. So that is the object of Kamma. So Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi identify that Kamma is something, any good or evil deed of performed earlier at the same time, at the same lifetime, during the same lifetime. But for this passage here, for this war group, so we have to consider, is this necessary to be in during the same life? So yeah, during the lifetime is okay, but for during the same lifetime, we have to consider again. And also this were mentioned again, this will be mentioned again in the chapter 5. Chapter 5, when we studied about the near-death moment and the mental process of near-death moment and the present moment of this rebirth linking consciousness of this life. So when we study, this will come again. But there in the chapter 5, when he mentioned about the Kamma, he does not use during the same lifetime. But in the chapter 3, in the explanation, he used the word during the same lifetime, because the Kamma can be different. Some Kamma produce the same, the resultants in the same lifetimes. And some Kamma produce in the next life, the following lives, immediately following life. And some Kamma produce starting from the third to the end of the lives. So life cycle. That is why, according to this classification, it is not necessary to put the same, because during the lifetime, we have done good and evil deeds performed during the lifetime earlier before that moment. And in the same, if it can, if will give the result, it will produce the result in the next existence as the Patisandhi. So we can say that is the word same is correct. But the life is produced by the number 3 types, produced in any life, starting from the third up to the end of the life cycle. For that types of Kamma, the same, we don't need to use, we cannot use the word same. So during the lifetime, it's okay. So in another place to mention about the Kamma, Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi explained, a Kamma that is to produce a rebirth linking in the next existence. It's okay. So in the next existence, that can be the object of near-death moment process. Then here, I just want to discuss about the word same. It is need or it does not need. So later, we will see more information about this, compared to the gamma, classification of gamma. Okay, the number 2, the sign of gamma, gamma nimitta. So an object or image, it can be object, image, or the associated with the good and evil deed. So here, good and evil deed in the earlier times, that this is called gamma. So the object of the image, the gamma, which is about to determine the rebirth of next life, is called the gamma nimitta. So when we perform the gamma, we use, if we are offering, so we use the item of offerings, robes, bowl, etc., flower. So they are the object or the image of the gamma. This is called the gamma nimitta. And in other way, an instrument used to perform it. So when we use, so sometimes some instruments are necessary. So at that moment, they can appear near that moment as the object of the last process of the life, and also proceed to the being the object of next life, the object of revived Lincoln consciousness of next life. So that is called the gamma nimitta. And also the last one, the sign of destiny, gati nimitta. The symbol of the realms, symbols of the realm, so into which the dying person is about to be reborn. So for the next life, any symbol related to the next life appear near that moment as an object of near that moment. That is called the gati nimitta. So for some people near that moment, the mention of the deities and the wise, etc., they appear. Sometimes, you know, for those who will be reborn in the hell, in the miserable state. So for the animal, so they are the tools for the animal cage, or for the beta, they're like a forest, deep forest, which is not pleasant view. So that is the deep forest, etc. And for those beings who will be reborn in the hell, the fires or dog, etc., they appear as an image or as a sign, as an object of the last moment, near death moment. So in this way, we can identify the 3 types of object of the door-free consciousness, same as the object of the cognitive process of near-death moment in the preceding existence. So this is the former parts we classify, and let's continue on. The classification of the object according to their nature. So we need to identify the object according to the types. So the first type is sense sphere object, kama vachara aramana. So kama vachara ramana. So the object included under the nature of sense sphere. So sense sphere object, the kama vachara aramana. And the second one is sublime object. So mahakata aramana. Mahagata Aramana. Here, sublime refers to the only 5 material sphere and immaterial sphere. So they are called the Mahagata. And the Lokutara is Supramande. That concept, so Panyati, Panyata Ramana. So Kama Vachara Ramana, Mahagata Ramana, and Panyata Ramana. And Supramande object, Lokutara Ramana. So, okay, by the reality What does mean the Kama Vachara? Kama Vachara Aramana. So sense pure consciousness, 54 sense pure consciousness, and also the associated mental factor of these 54 consciousness in number, they include all 52. So 54 sense pure consciousness and their associated mental factor. And also all 28 materiality are called the Kama Vachara Aramana. And what are the sublime Aramana, Mahakata Aramana? So 27 sublime consciousness and their associated mental factor, we can say they're 35 in number. So in the association method, we already studied. And the concept, so concept can be in briefly classification, the Nama Panyati and Atha Panyati. Any concept is called the Panyata Ramana. When any concept appear in the mind or any concept is taken by the mind as it is object, is called the Panyata Aramana, Panyati Aramana. And the last one, what is the supramundane object? So supramundane chitta, the 4 mega and 4 fruition. So 8 supramundane chitta and their associated mental factor 36. And the ultimate reality or nibbana. When the mind take any of these objects, they are called the Lokuttara Aramana. So Lokuttara Aramana. Then the usage in the Abhidhamma Sangaha. So in the compendium of the object. So when it is mentioned by the Pali text, the usage, some usage are used. So the useful usage, I'm going to focus on that. So here in this column, the same as the previous slide, the four types of objects. And here, so 3 objects together, how we can say, so how the Abhidhamma Sangha describe the 3 objects together, sense pure object, sublime object, and concept together. It is mentioned that Lokuttara Vachita Sabharamana. In English, all objects, but not totally totally all objects. So all objects except the supramundane state is called the Lokuttara Vachita Sabharamana. This usage refers to 3 groups. So to include 3 groups, the Abhidhamma Sangha, the author of Abhidhamma Sangha used this usage. It's very smart writing, very beautiful usage. So Lokuttara Vachita Sabharamana can cover all 3 groups. And so for the another usage, the Arahata Megaphala Vachita Sabharamana. So the exception is the path and fruit of the arahaship. So only 2 of the Lokuttara are exception, but it includes even the nibbana, and also format 3 paths and 3 fruition consciousness. So this you say Arahata Megaphala Vachita Sabharamana cover up to the Lokuttara Aramana, the supramundane object, but the exception is the path and fruit of arahaship. Sometimes some consciousness take that kind. That's why the Abhidhamma Sangha use this usage. And also, if it includes even the path and fruition of arahaship, it is used the Sabharamana, all objects. So the separate name and the Lokuttara Vachita Sabharamana and Arahata Megaphala Vachita Sabharamana and Sabharamana need to be clear. Need to be clear if we study the Abhidhamma Sangha text itself. So after studying this lesson, after listening this lesson, you need to go back to the comprehensive manual of Abhidhamma and check the paragraph by paragraph what they mention and how it is mentioned. And the explanation in this lesson will be very helpful for you. Otherwise, if you just listen this lesson series and you don't read the Abhidhamma Sangha text, so you cannot understand completely. This lesson is to have the learners of the Abhidhamma Sangaha. So here now we know the usage in the Abhidhamma Sangaha so that we can understand properly. And let's see the classification by types of consciousness. So objects can be classified according to the types of consciousness. Here we already know 13 consciousness, 10 Dvipanja Vijnana, and 3 mind elements, altogether 30. We already mentioned this earlier in this lesson. And I consciousness take the present visible form. This is not difficult, no more difficulties. And ear consciousness, present sound, nose consciousness, present smell, tongue consciousness, present taste, body consciousness, present tangible object, whether it is, they're painful or pleasure. It doesn't matter, it is tangible object. And triple mind element, present five sense object, this already studied. And so this is another group of the mind consciousness. So the consciousness of mind door, manodwarika citta. So they also included in the 5 door process. So investigating 3 and great result at 8. We can say there is as a Tadaramana. So 11 consciousness can arise performing the function of registration. So investigating consciousness can be performing the function of investigating and also performing the function of registration, like this. We have to keep the information we already studied about the function, about the door, etc. So it's mind producing. Altogether, 12 consciousness. So the object of 12 consciousness, they always take the sense sphere object. They never take. So just now we already classify the consciousness types according to the types. So Kama, Vachara, Mahagata, Panyati, and Lakutara. So among them, these 12 consciousness can take only the Kama, Vachara, Aramana. So sense sphere object presented at 6 door, not only 5 door here, because they can arise performing the function of registration. They can arise in the mind door as well. Mind door also they can arise, and also mind producing consciousness arise in mind door. And investigating consciousness can arise at the moment of registration and investigating. They can arise in the 5 door process too. That's why presented at 6 door. So, but the types of aramana, the types of object must be the Kama Vachara alone. Okay, so altogether, 25 consciousness here, in 2 groups, 25 consciousness. In the other classification, sense sphere, resultants, and 5 dot averting or mind producing, because they are the same. So 25 in the number same. If we classify in this way, 2 groups become the 25 consciousness. If we classify in this way, sense sphere, so Dvipanja Vijnana also sense sphere resultant, investigating sense sphere resultant, and great resultants also sense sphere resultant. Here in among the mind element, there is 1 5 dot averting is the functional, and mind producing is functional. That's why except these 2 functional, the other 23 are sense sphere resultants. And altogether 25 consciousness take the sense sphere object, only the sense sphere object, so which is called the lower object, Prita Aramana in Pali, it is called the lower object. But now we can get from the lowest point. So only the sense sphere 25, you get it. Then for the second group, so unwholesome 12 and sense sphere Javana dissociated from knowledge. So sense sphere Javana dissociated from knowledge refers to the 8 consciousness. So in wholesome, dissociated from jnana vipyuta, dissociated from knowledge, 4 wholesome and 4 functional, altogether 8 consciousness. So together with the unwholesome 12, it becomes 20. So the 20 consciousness take all objects except supramantin state. This is as mentioned in the Abhidhamma Sangha text. So the second group take all objects except supramantin state. We classify this cover 3 groups: sense-sphere group, sublime group, and concept. And for the third group, sense-sphere wholesome associated with knowledge. So this is called the Jnana Sampayutta. Jnana Sampayutta Kusala, great wholesome. 4, and the wholesome direct knowledge, Kusala Abhinya. So this Abhinya refers to the 5th jhana, the power of 5th jhana, special power. So altogether, 5 consciousness take all objects except the path and fruit of arhatship. So these 5 consciousness cannot take the path and fruit of arhatship because wholesome arising in the process of worldling and trainees. They cannot know the path and fruit consciousness of the Arhat. That is why that becomes the exception. So this is Arhata Megaphala Vajida Sabharamana. And the 4th group, sense-sphere functional associated with knowledge, 4, and Jnana Sampayutta Kriya. And the functional direct knowledge, so Kriya Bhinya, and also determine. Determine refers to the mind door at button. That is why when they arise, as a Javana, the former one, this is the 5 dot averting consciousness. That is why this is also included. So here in this group, 6 consciousness can take all kinds of objects, no exception, because as we have known that the Buddha has the Sabhanyuta Jnana, and if the Buddha wish to know anything about the world, about the beings, etc., and the mind movement arise, any of the consciousness associated with knowledge, the functional consciousness arise as a jhana to know whatever the Buddha wants to know. And at that moment, to arise this mind movement, the determining consciousness, the mind-dot-averting consciousness arise to advert the object to the jhana. That is why this one, although determining consciousness as the mind-dot-averting is the rootless, it can take every object. It can take every object. This is quite strange. You know, as we has explained, the rootless consciousness are weaker than the consciousness with roots. But here, the consciousness of the rootless consciousness is very powerful to know. But it is not the power of itself. It's the power of the functional consciousness associated with knowledge. That is why it itself is weak, but it becomes the powerful to take every object, any object, by the power of the following jhana. Okay, then another group, the 2nd and 4th immaterial jhana. So Vijnananchayarana jhana and Nivasanyana Sanyarana jhana. So wholesome 3, and so these wholesome result and functional in each 2nd jhana, Vijnananchayarana 3, Nivasanyana Sanyarana 3. Altogether 6 jhana, 6 consciousness take the sublime object, because you know we already mentioned that the Vijnananchayarana 2nd jhana arise, it take the former, the 1st jhana as its object, the past one. It is past object. So, and when the 4th jhana, Nivasanyana Sanyarana arise, it take the object of the 3rd jhana. The 3rd jhana as it is object. That's why they take the object of sublime object. So Mahakata Aramana, that is not the concept. That is ultimate reality, the sublime object. And the 6th group, the remaining sublime consciousness, so altogether 27 and consciousness. So 6 already finished. So the remaining 21 sublime consciousness take the concept. So all others take the concept as their object. So Panyata Ramana. And supramundane consciousness, whenever they arise, they take Nibbana as their objects. So this is the classification according to the consciousness. They can take, some of them can take only the sense sphere object, some of them can take the all object is a supramundane states, some of them can take the except the path and fruit of arahantship, some can take all kinds, some take only the Mahagata, some take only the Panyati, some take only the Nibbana. So in this way, we can classify the object according to the consciousness. Okay, here we need to mention about the direct knowledge, abhinya. What is abhinya? So abhinya is the higher knowledge accessible to those who have the mastery over the 5 jhana. So not only the first jhana, second jhana, so all 5 jhana and try and practice to be mastery. So if the one mastery in all 5 jhana, he can access or he can practice, promote himself to attain the higher knowledge, abhinya. So there are 5 abhinya, 5 types of direct knowledge, abhinya. So the first one, supernormal power, Etivida abhinya. And second one, divine ear, Deva Sota. And the third one, Prachita Vichanana. So this is the power to know the other's mind. And the recollection of past life. So the Pobe Niwasa, in order to recall us, Pobe Niwasa Nusati abhinya. And the divine eye, Deva Chakku. So it is mentioned in the page number 344 in Comprehensive Manual of Abhidhamma. You can read more information. And the object of the Etivida can be the 6 objects of past, present, and future. So Etivida can take the object. So in this way, the object of the abhinya, object of direct knowledge, become larger, very large. So present sound for the Deva Sota at the moment of Deva Sota, just hear the sound, but it must be present. So it already finished, the disappear cannot hear by the Deva Sota. In the same way, in the Deva Chakku also, present visible form. So Deva Chakku, we can see by the knowledge of Deva Chakku, the visible form far from here, but that must be present visible form. So the past and future cannot take by the Deva Chakku here, according to this classification. And also mind objects, etc. Okay. So how we can attain that that higher knowledge or direct knowledge, abhinya? So this is the power of the 5th jhana. For those who wish to attain the higher knowledge of abhinya, you need to practice to be mastery of the 5th jhana. So there are 5 mastery we will mention in the chapter 9. So to be master, have to practice the 5th jhana, and he need to make the preparation for the specific higher knowledge or abhinya, Etivida, etc. So the method of practicing will be explained later. And here it can be different, wholesome and functional. If the higher knowledge of training and worldling and trainees, so Putrajana and Sikha are wholesome, and the higher knowledge of Arhat functional. So in this way, wholesome and functional. Okay, let's see. The Abhidhamma Sangha give the conclusion according to the 7-fold groupings. So here, ekanta, so definite objects. And okay, here, according to the group, sense sphere object taken by the 25, already mentioned that 25 consciousness. and subplane object taken by the 6. And the concept. So when the concept appear, we can know any of the 21 consciousness can arise in the mind. So the concept, this is definite. So in the normal, our mind, sense-sphere mind also can take the object of concept. But here, because this is the explanation about the ekanta, so we can understand those consciousness take only the sense-sphere 25. And the consciousness, those take only the sublime are 6. The consciousness take only the concept are 21. In this way, we can understand. Then the consciousness take only the nibbana are 8 kinds. So this is called the ekanta. The ekanta means the definite objects. So whenever any of the 25 consciousness arise, it can take only the object of sense-sphere. It never take the other group, the object of another group, the mahagata. So sense-sphere resultant cannot take the object or sublime or concept or nibbana, etc. And also whenever any of the 6 jhana, so second and fourth immaterial jhana arise, it takes only the mahagata aramana. It never takes the sense-sphere object, or it never takes the concept, or it never takes the nibbana, etc. So in this way, whenever any of the supramundane consciousness, mega and phala arise, they take nibbana, only nibbana as their object. They never take the sense-sphere object or sublime or concept as their object. This is called the object of ekanta, definite object. Then the last one is anekanta, is not definite one. It can take another object too. So, but if we include from the group of the object, the group of object Lokuttara Vajita Sabharamana, so the object itself, the supramundane state, how many consciousness can take these objects? So, or 20, altogether 20 objects can take. But if we make the object larger, only the exception become the part and fruit of the arhatship. The consciousness become only 5. Only 5. And also all kinds, this becomes 6. This is the anekanta. But for more study, further study, they have another classification. So it can make you confused for the beginners. As a beginner, is they're very complicated. So for example, so we can say that how many consciousness can take nibbana as its object. So for the ekanta, we can say that only the 8 consciousness of supramundane. But here, nibbana is included here. Arhata Magaphala Vajita Sabharamana. In this group, nibbana is included. That is why we can add the sense-sphere wholesome associated with knowledge, can take nibbana as its object, because at the moment of Godrabhu, just before the mega, the mind movement is called the Godrabhu. That Godrabhu consciousness can be wholesome consciousness associated with knowledge, but it can take nibbana as its object. So we can add this group and also the direct knowledge. In this way, this 5 also can be included in the group that take nibbana as its object, but not definitely. And also this group cover all types. That's why nibbana also included. So now we can add the 11 more. So we can get more number. Then the question depends on the question. If the question is come in this way, the consciousness that take nibbana only as its object is only 8. And the question comes in this way: the consciousness which can take Nibbana as its object, it becomes the larger. So these two groups also need to be added. So this, in this way, if we enlarge in this way, so many classification will come again, but it's not easy to keep in the mind and also to explain for the beginner in this level. So we will study in the honorable level, enlarge. So we will understand more and more about to identify the consciousness and the aramana. But here in the beginner level, as mentioned in the Abhidhamma Sangaha, we have to understand the definite way and indefinite way of the classification of the consciousness by the object, and also object by the consciousness. So, okay, now I'm going to stop here my explanation about the compendium of objects as a last part of the chapter 3. Now from the next lesson, we will study about the cognitive process of the chapter 4, the Viti Sangaha. Okay, good luck for your study in format 3 chapters, because the past stage of Abhidhamma exam cover the 3 chapters. So if you study this 3 chapters, and it is for the first stages of Abhidhamma exam. Okay.
Vandami Bante, how do we practically understand the working of karma in our daily life? When we rejoice ours or others' wholesome deeds already done, or when we are taking, or when we practice recollection of generosity, can we say that we are taking these past good deeds as mind objects? Will the karma of rejoicing these wholesome deeds be similar to the karma when these wholesome deeds were done by ourselves or others? For example, when a donor offers chaitya and we rejoice in his offering, will we get a similar karma as a donor? When we do wholesome deeds and transfer our merits to our departed relatives, if they rejoice, they will get a similar wholesome karma as us. Similarly, if we participate in others' past wrongs or unwholesome deeds, are we also taking these past unwholesome deeds as our mind objects? Will we also get similar kind of karma? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, so there's a long question, and
Yeah.
I have to take the exam. Okay. And okay, let's see the past by past, and practically understanding the working of karma in our daily life. This is not very easy text, because the system of karma and the result relationship is very clear, very simple, according to the Buddha's teaching. So the Buddha mentioned that kaya ducharita and vaci ducharita. Kaya ducharita, vaci ducharita, mano ducharita. So by the name of ducharita as a karma of the evil karma. And kaya sucharita, vaci sucharita, mano sucharita. So these are the good karma. In this case, in the sutta, in the Anguttara Nikaya, in the Atthana Pali, you can see that this karma by the name of the ducharita. So the Buddha said, the ducharita karma, the evil karma, can never produce the good result. And good karma never produce the bad result, evil result. This is the very simple discourse to explain about the karma and result relationship. But that very simple system is complicated by the time, according to the times, and according to the will of the persons. So wish whatever they want, according to wish. So this becomes the complicated. That is why we cannot easily identify in daily life. when you are doing something good continuously, but you may encounter bad result at that time. But we can how to say that assure the bad result is not produced by the good karma. And also some people are doing all the evil deeds continuously, but they are gaining the good result during their life. But we cannot say the good result are produced by the bad karma, because according to the nature, good karma never produce bad result, and bad karma never produce good result. This is the system. I'm just explaining about the system. But in the daily life, you need to be knowledgeable enough to understand about the working of karma. Otherwise, you can get confused if you just believe on what you see and what you hear, what you encounter, and what you can consider. Because the system of karma is complicated by the time system, according to the times. So, practically understanding in brief is not easy. Just trying to believe the power of the karma. That is why we call the karma sakata samadhi, the right view which regards the karma as our own. That is the karma sakata samadhi. So sometimes the system cannot identify our knowledge. Sometimes can identify, when you are doing something good and then the good result come, and then you can consider, oh, this is because of my good karma and good result come. And yeah, this is an easy way. Sometimes you do something bad and then bad result come. At that time, you can understand this is because of my bad karma and bad result come. But actually, sometimes the system does not come in that simple way. When you are doing good, and then you can get bad. Because of the doing something, you are telling the truth. It is good karma, but you get the unexpected result. It is bad result. So you cannot match them, because of in the karma system, they never match each other, good and bad, and good and good, bad and bad. So in order to, for the first part of the question, I just want to explain in this way. And for the second one, let's see the rejoice our and others wholesomely already done. Okay, when we practice recollection or generosity, can you see we are talking there? What's good the mind object? Okay, yes, we can see that, because when we practice recollection or generosity, at that moment, the good deed are already done. The good deed, sometimes so sometimes you are focusing on the action, so volition or something else. It is the mind object of the past. But sometimes your mind can focus on the panyati concept, which is that this is the offering, item or offerings, etc. They are panyati. So if we focus on that, it is not only past, it is timeless concept. So at the moment of practicing recollection of generosity, it can be the different objects. So sometimes the past good deed, you can focus, you can recollect the good karma of the volition of good karma. That's called the past good deed as mandate object. Okay, but if you are focusing on the panyati, it is not the past good deed, it is the concept, so timeless concept. And for B, with the karma, they cannot be, here, so will be similar. So they cannot be similar. This is another types of the wholesome karma. So doing, for example, if you are making donation at that time, and after that you practice the regulation of generosity, so two are different. So the former one is wholesome of the donation. So the wholesome, the level also may not be the same. And at the time of the practicing, you are just the bhavana. So not no more donation, no more dana. It becomes the bhavana, is the mental development. So not the similar one. That when you are rejoicing, and also okay, here, for the B, the question, I think the question is about the rejoicing the wholesome deed. So at the moment of the rejoicing the wholesome deed of our own and others, this also cannot be the same. So when we are doing the karma ourselves, we have the great effort to accomplish the activities of the wholesome deeds, and more effort we use. And to rejoice others, and we use the less effort. So it depends on the efforts, we cannot say the same. So the types is similar, rejoicing, but the level cannot be the same. So if we are rejoicing ourselves, we use more effort. The C also, if we transfer our merit to departed relatives, when they rejoice. So if we share, may they get the same with us, the same amount of wholesome this with us. But even when they rejoice, they cannot get the same amount, because as I just mentioned that the effort of the doer of that good karma, and also the saddha, sati, etc., are not the same as the one of the rejoicing. So departed relatives, if they rejoice, and they can get some amount of some level of the wholesome power of the wholesome, but they cannot get the same level. But still, we wish to share the same, so not making lesser. So this is our wish. But the actual, the example is given that if you feed your baby, and you're thinking that, oh, this amount I take, and also that amount I can feed him. And then if you feed, and the baby cannot take all, and just can take like this. So giving someone from our side, but they can get according to their condition. So that's why they cannot be the same amount. So here you use the similar, but similar, I cannot identify the similar types or something else. But for the power, they cannot gain the similar power. It's the same power or different power. We participate in others passed from. So passed from unwholesome deeds mean the other people already done, and they accomplish their unwholesome deed, and then they talk to us or at that time, and then we hear, and we agree with them like this. I think in that way. So we will get the unwholesome karma, but not the same amount. Here also we will get, because that we are making the participation with the unwholesome mind to that unwholesome deeds. That is why whenever you agree to the unwholesome deed, you get the unwholesome karma, but not the same amount of them. So okay.
Pandami Sayadaw, will the object and the mind at the near-death moment actually affect our future life habits and inclination? For example, during last life, near-death moment, some meditators remember their encounter with past Buddha and their promise to guard the Buddha's sasana. In their present life, will they have such inclination? For example, during last life near-death moment, some meditators objects are bhikkhu image. Will they have such inclination to become a bhikkhu in this life unconsciously? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Yes, we can say in this way because the inclination is very powerful. So inclination is very powerful, not only near that moment. So during lifetime also, if you make any inclination that become powerful, not one time, and depends on the power of mind when it arises. So near that moment also can be, but as you know, the influence can be from that side, and also it can be the other side also. The counter influence also can become. So for example, if you near that moment or during their life, you make the karma to be reborn in this life, your inclination is to protect or to guard the Buddha Sasana, etc., and being a bhikkhu or something else. But in the present times, your mind will go in that direction to become a monk and to protect the Buddha Sasana. But on the other hand, if you have the friends from another religion is talking about their religion and talking about something, the Buddha Sasana is not good, something like this, and hearing that comes the influence from the counter side, and that can reduce, and sometimes it can concord. So what I mean is inclination can come, and also that can influence our mind, our present life. Not only we make a single inclination, we made many times different inclination during the life. So to become an actor or to become a singer or to become something else, like this. So we have already done that kind of inclination during different lives. So they come to influence our mind, and they are, how to say, the fighting, like similar to the fight in each other to get the opportunity to manage. So for your question, it is possible to have that kind of inclination, but we cannot say the certain result can arise all the time.
Bante, Vandami Bante,
Yes.
in one of Bante's slides, the object of five door consciousness, I am not very clear about this. There are the five sense door, and then after the Pancha Dwara Vajana, there all comes the I consciousness. Even for those like Sota, Dwarika, Ghana, and so on. So how come they are not using their own like ear, sense door, and so on? All are after the five sense door, they are all followed by the eyes sense door.
Yes. Yeah, in order to avoid the complicated usage, I just keep the how to say the reference of E continuously. But that E represent in the Chakudwarika unconsciousness. In the process of Sota Dwarika, it represents the ear consciousness. In case of the Ghana Dwarika, it represents the nose consciousness.
Okay.
In case of the Dwarika, yeah. So I need to change according to
their respective. That's why I get confused here. Anyway, sadhu, 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 Bante.
Bante, thank you very much for your teachings today. May Bante lead us in making aspiration and sharing our merits, please.
Okay, let's make our aspiration and let's share our merit to all beings. Please repeat after me. Imina punya kamena
Imina punya kamena.
Mami pala samagamo
Mami bala samagamo.
Saddam samagamo hodu
Satam samagamo hotu.
Yawa nibbana patiyam
Yawani banapatiya.
Idame punyam asawakaya vaha hodu
Idame punya asawakaya waham hotu.
Idame punyam nibbana sapachayo hodu
Idame punya nibanasa pachayo hotu.
Mama punya bhagam
Mama punya bagam.
Sabba sattanam bhajemi
Sabha satanam bhajemi.
Te sabbe
Te sabe
me samam
me samam.
Punya bhagam labandu
Punya bagam labantu.
Sadhu
Sadhu,
Sadhu
sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu
Thank you, Bante, and everyone for your time and participation. Till we meet on next Sunday, may all be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.